Hey people, and welcome back to the channel. This is SJ's Corner. Today we'll be going and breaking down the video of CeeDee Lamb versus the Philadelphia Eagles on the opening night of the National Football League 2025. It was a mixed bag, this one. I gave this one a solid B. He had 7 catches for 110 yards. He played decently well, but at the same time, there's some critical plays he missed out on that cost his team dearly. I thought Dak Prescott actually played a really good game and probably should have came out with more stats than it showed. Just on the stat line for Dak was 21 of 34 for 188 yards. But really the decisions he was making during the game and just being able to make throws right on target, he played better than the stat line indicated, you get me. So we're just going to see the things that CD did well and just the ones that he could have definitely did a better job on to help his team come away with a W. Because like I said, they had a real chance to win this game. So let's just go right from the start here. We got CD coming in with his first catch of the game. He's right here at the bottom of the screen. He motions down. Tight split. And he's going to run this nice little corner route using kind of the waggle and his stem, a lot that you normally see with someone that's going to waggle in, or motion in and come to his tight split, especially given that it's play action, is normally you see this guy clear out some type of way and you have this overcoming right underneath. But in this case, he uses the fact that this is a route that often happens. Look at the stem. He's taking that angle inside like he's running an over route. You see his eyes, and the DB, first off, this is a position where you have to recognize you can take advantage of him, is you have him kind of in this not this trail position, but in this shade position where he's coming in with his momentum this way on higher alert to guard that inside over, right? But now CD goes from that angle and you can see him straighten him up here, right? So now you're in a position where you have a two-way go because his hips and momentum is taking him this way, okay? So CD does a great job of using that against the DB. You can see him now. He hits that little rocker step, a little 1-2. Wasn't even much of a rocker step. Nice little stick. And the DB is just out of whack, expecting something completely different. But CD uses that knowledge of the over route to get him back on the outside of the corner. So his first play of the game was a really good play. Here's another one that was pretty impressive. He was feeling himself right after this as well. This was another sort of a look at that over route, right? Another tight sort of split. It's a different formation now, kind of out of 21 or 11, maybe the Americans call this. Tight split. Sorry, give me a second. Tight split. Comes over this in zone this time. The most impressive part about this is the catch, okay? So you can see Dak has to escape pressure. The timing of this is all blown apart. Dak creates some time to get this throw. You can see Zach Bond, now the linebacker, trailing this, looking at the obvious threat within this area, and is going to go close on that play. And what does CD do? He helps out his quarterback by coming back towards the football and making a play. Zach Bond's momentum is taking him this way, and CD has to come back and take that ball, almost like if this was a cornerback playing at this point, coming up, undercut a route to pick off a pass. That's basically the position he turned into, right? Cut off the path to that ball. Zach Bond thinks he has a pick. No, I'm going to take that from you. So another play that looks very subtle, but it was a really big deal. He was playing real well to start the game. And these were back-to-back plays, I'm pretty sure. No, these were back-to-back first downs he had, rather. Not back-to-back plays. But again, another formation where they're using motion. He's kind of in the slot. Corner is now again, right? You see him. Last time, he was chasing heavy inside. Now he's just trying to keep his position on the outside, like so he doesn't lose his leverage again. Last time when he had the motion down and he got beat on the corner, you saw his yard or his leverage from him and CeeDee was more. He was right on top of him. Now he's playing what at least 2 yards to the outside, and CeeDee sees this, and this is how you can play, you know, chess during the game. Is you've burned him on a different route. Now he's heavily guarded, and look at the amount of space, and this one is the easiest of the completions, I'll say, and he's feeling himself after this. So next play, this is his first drop of the game. He had another target earlier where it was a goal line fade, but he got PI'd on, so I didn't really put that in here. But this is a route where you got to catch this, and this is one of those where I think he's expecting to receive this ball. Even though it looks like a slant, he's expecting to catch this ball on the numbers, but Dak throws him more like he's going to come hard in here. And you can see him kind of slow his feet down, like right here. He was expecting to get the ball. Look at him settle down, like it's zone, right? So a little bit of a miscommunication, but he still gets two hands on this ball. He should catch it, but he drops it. Okay, next play. I think this is probably his. Was this the worst route? Maybe second closest. This is a comeback route later where I don't think he did well at running. But this one, it's a simple hitch. We got a sticks concept, and then I believe the tight end is coming out this way. And the one thing you notice is his hands are just out of place. Look where his hands are. You do not want this. You got to be a little more disciplined with where your hands are coming, and it kind of messes up his break point. He tries to break down on a 1-2, and look at him. He's drifting. He doesn't have the ability to drive down back towards the ball, right? Just because of his body position, his hands are all out of whack. He's undisciplined here, and the DB just drives on this and makes a play. So think about doing a 3-step, or if you're going to do a 1-2 on that one, you really need to be disciplined with where your hands are so you can enable yourself to drop your hips and be able to pivot and make a play. Also, another hook or drop on this one. He tries to get the DB off him with his inside arm. So with that little rip, but the DB holds onto his jersey a little too much and draws a flag. So good job on that one. And this is another slant. Not quite clean on the release. Quite muddy. Not quite sure what he was trying to do, but gets collision, whatever. Stay physical through this to make a catch for your quarterback. I believe this was towards the end of the half. They're trying to go down the field and get some points on the field goal, which they did. This is an easy one. So better job on converting on this slant. You can kind of see they got him and the tight end kind of in a stack position. Tight end is to pick this guy off a little bit and clear out, and he's going to come underneath on the rob concept and catch the ball on the slant. It's kind of easy pitch and catch. Good job on this. This time he didn't stop. Ball's on time. Good play. Now we got kind of the reverse. We got, I forgot the name of this guy, which is their really good explosive punt returner. Forgot his name. Probably a bad job there. But he has, in Canada here, we call this a gin concept, right? I do think this play is kind of flawed because CeeDee is the one that ends up running the end on this. But he's the guy that's first up at the stack. And now you got this receiver that's somehow supposed to clear, but he's 2 yards behind CeeDee on this. So naturally, the leverage on this play concept, I do not like. Normally, if you're going to run a stack, this should be reverse. It should be the person that's at top that's going deep, and the person that's below is going short. Just in terms, especially when you need this inside person to clear out. That's my whole thing about this. But it doesn't go that way. You can kind of see the person that's supposed to be clearing out gets bumped a little bit, and look where he is. CeeDee has already made his break, and if theoretically this guy was at the top of the stack, he'd likely be level with him or slightly ahead on this go if he went first. And then this safety will be pushed back maybe a couple of yards, or you would put him in a bind, right? But right now, he can play both, right? Because he's not threatened back here. So even though CeeDee goes on to drop this, there's a little bit about the play concept I do not like in this, because now Dak has let go of the ball, and you damn near have two receivers in the exact same location. Look, the ball's in the air already, and these two guys are out here, right? So I'm not trying to defend CeeDee, but listen, he's definitely thinking about the defenders that surrounded him right now if he's going to get clocked. That's in the back of his mind. So probably something for the offensive coordinator to look towards. But again, he'll say he should catch this. But I guarantee you, I mean, you definitely see the effect of this route eventually when it gets to the safety. But it would make this a little bit more of a cleaner picture for the receiver and the quarterback if this guy was up first before CeeDee. And he's worried about someone that's going to come crack him and he drops the ball. Okay? So he say he should catch it. I'll say he should catch it. But just coming from a point of design, definitely not the best concept. Okay, so this is another route that I thought he struggled on. It looks like a comeback of some sorts. And he just gets into a pushing match with the DB. The DB doesn't initiate this, right? I think CeeDee should have just gone within 2 to 3 yards of him, give him a stick. You can see the DB's hips are already flipped, facing towards the deep, ready to run. Just give him a stick, show him what he wants to see, which is the go route, and just drop down. But you get into a pushing match with him. Yeah, I'm not sure. There was no true stick here, and it almost turns into a pick. You could call this illegal contact, but I don't really like that. It feels like CeeDee is more running into him on this one, so I don't think he did a good job, and it could have turned into a pick for his quarterback on that play. And here is probably the biggest drop he had. Again, I do have serious questions about the concept. What are we running? Right? So we got to go, a post from CeeDee, right? And it looks like this tight end is running a go. And what is this guy running? A D maybe? I'm not sure. You know, that's never what you want, where it's damn near two receivers finding themselves in one spot. Right? Typically, if you're going to run this kind of angled route, from the inside guy, it would be like this, and like this. Right? But I'm not sure what the play concept is here. It looks bad because CeeDee drops it, but someone busted. That's what I say. Someone was in a position where they shouldn't be, because you shouldn't have that. So this is another drop. You can see easily if he makes one of these plays, he's definitely above 200 yards in this game. And it's one of the biggest ones. You can see it's a perfect ball. So Dak definitely expects him to be here. Who knows? Maybe Dak was thrown into the go route from the inside slot from Tolbert, right? But, I mean, if he was intending this ball to CeeDee, that means Tolbert busted. I don't care. Someone messed up. But it's a perfect dime, as you can see. And you got to catch that, I believe he comes off the next play and then he's back on, and this is where the game was on the line. They proceed to call a rob concept, kind of the opposite now with this wheel coming from CeeDee. I do think he could do a better job on the release, giving him a little bit more, turn into a... And this is the thing. The problem I have with this rob concept is when you're the receiver knowing that you're getting the rub, sometimes that gets you into the position where you feel like you don't have to run a man route to beat the DB. So you run it as you believe that, the pick that your teammate is setting should be getting you off. But I fully believe you should still run it as if you were trying to create separation with no help from your teammate. Because I think that just does a better job of setting up the DB more and potentially making it easier for you, for your teammate to pick them off. right? So right now, he doesn't give the DB much off the line. He just kind of goes within 2 yards of him and then he just runs to it, right? I want more of like give him a little 1-2 stick here and get back outside just to shift him a bit more. And listen, he still gets open at the end of the day and he gets two hands on it, but he's not able to make the play. Okay, so another great ball from Dak Prescott, especially in this position. He might get up. He might have gotten his head taken off, but this is what I'm saying. I think Devontae Adams in that position does a better job of being subtle and sticking that DB a little bit more violently to create more separation and make this an easier completion. So these are things CeeDee definitely looks at. I saw on the video when he got back to Dallas, he was back on the jugs machine, but it was more than just dropping the passes. There were definitely some play concept issues, like play design issues, receivers in two positions. I mean, two drops would literally be from two in situations where two of the Dallas receivers were within 2 to 3 yards of each other, which is not ideal. You get me? Also, he needs to do a better job of setting up his releases a little bit, but we know CeeDee. CeeDee is a really good route runner, so those are things I believe you can get fixed as the season goes on. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the performance. Do you think it was fully on CeeDee? Do you think there's a point, obviously, where the Dallas offensive coordinator needs to change up some of the play design because it's a little bit too muddy for the receivers there? But yeah, that's about everything for this video. Thank you. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Appreciate you.